to bring the complete settlement of the cosmic ideal realm of liberation and complete freedom. This will be the kingdom of goodness in which we can enjoy absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal peace and prosperity.
Among some of the important points that true parents spoke about, they told us to bear in mind that the present age, the age to restore the world through the managed blessing on the national level. When I was a continental director of the Asia Pacific through the HTM activities in Cambodia, Nepal, and Philippines and Thailand, I realized that the age to give the blessing on the national level had arrived. At the time, thanks to winds of the HTM blessing, we were able to hold the blessing ceremonies in each nation with the support of the government. It was a really incredible time. Now is the time to unfold the providence from the top to bottom, knowing that we have assured in a time when we can truly give the blessing on the national level, on the top of the indemnity that through parents paid on the cosmic level, and their victorious foundation if we find and restore the John the Baptist prepared by heaven. Therefore, the time has come for heaven to work in amazing ways if America also goes out with the vision of the national restoration by meeting the John the Baptist figures of the different dominations and major private organizations prepared by heaven in each region. That's why, as you know, recently I've been to the Dominican Republic. Okay, there are many reasons why I need to go to Dominican Republic and check. One of my really wish, as the elder son nation. So before the restoring the, nation of the Korea, and creating unity between North Korea and South Korea, we do not know how long does it take. Whenever I think, our mother's heart and mother's wish, I really want to offer one nation with cooperation properly with the American brothers and sisters as an elder son nation and helping in one nation to become God's child. How much true mother happy. And it can stimulate to Korean Peninsula and can create beautiful environment to restore the North Korea and South Korea and become one nation. That's why recently I visited Dominican Republic. This nation is a really potential nation to be channeled. That's why before restoring our North Korea and South Korea, if America showed one of the model as the channel through investment. And then I also discovered that many American brothers and sisters can go to Dominican Republic, and then really we can also fulfill tribal Messiah mission as well. And also one of the best places to raise up our second generation as well. That's why I went to the Dominican Republic. So I really seriously think about that and pray about it, and how can really, as an elder son nation, can do or substantially can help our true mother's providence. True mother's wish is to offer one nation as the God's nation. Living divine principle, again, human history is the history of the providence of restoration. Today, centered on the word of the Bible. Let's study.
Bible. Fourth, let us investigate this issue from the words of the Bible. The purpose of human history lies. God's ideology must be the same from the beginning to the end as well. You will realize it if you read Genesis and Revelation in the Bible, the beginning and the ending. Any scripture progress through the course of restoration.
Continue.
How the principle emerged. Reverend Moon did
Alpha and Omega. If you look at the Genesis and Revelation in the Bible begins with the tree of life and ends with the tree of life. The tree of life that was lost in Genesis is said to return as the tree of life in the last days. The beginning and end of the Bible are exactly the same. From that perspective, we cannot deny that the Bible is the truth. In this regard, the teaching of the principle corresponds with the providential perspective. Therefore, in conclusion, as long as God is alive, we must inevitably enter unification era based on God's will and according to the providential perspective. I'm so excited to, hear that, right? So, any scriptures in the world must be the same in the beginning and the ending. Evil seems to begin large, but it gradually becomes smaller. But good seems to begin small at first, yet it grows larger and as it goes on. Then what is the reference point of the good and evil? The beginning and end and must be the same, and at the end must become a plus to the beginning. Seeing that the contents of the Bible are the same in the beginning and the end, this is undoubtedly God's principle and truth. Otherwise, you can know that it can never be truth of the world. Until now, the world's concept of good and evils have changed according to the situation, politics, and rulers. This is not eternal truth. Since God is eternal, unchanging, and absolute, His truth must also be eternal and unchanging and absolute. Even people dislike those who change all the time. A person's determination they made at the beginning must be unchanging from the beginning to end. No matter what they do, they must do without becoming fickle. In this sense, don't you think that God is with us in doing our morning devotion? What do you think? Have to be always the same, not just only same. You need to add more. You need to more plus, then always prosperous and grow up. And then today's youth ministry open the doors to your heart. Very interesting topic as well. So let's start it.
Open the doors to your heart. We have
Way of God's will for a long time. Why hasn't the doors to our heart opened so far? What is the problem with the doors to our heart not opening? And what is the secret to opening to doors to our heart? The first reason the doors to our heart haven't opened is because our lives so far have not been sincere but false. No sincerity. The doors to our heart will open if our hearts are sincere. Very, very sincere. Secondly, while participating in life of faith, we are always bound by habits, form, existing the traditions. Thirdly, it is because your spirit is unable to dominate your body and become a tool to Satan. Thus, if you cannot dominate your body, the doors to your heart will never be opened. Therefore, we must always live our life of faith centering on the mind. In other words, we need to live putting our heart at the center. If you live thinking of the heart as the subject partner, you are bound to have a heartistic exchange with God. This is because the heart belongs to God. In the 1940s and 1950s in Korea, people who were prepared by heaven received the revelation that the Lord will come to Korea. The second coming is coming to Korea. People who received such a revelation from God were those whose doors to their heart were open and always offered prayers and sincere devotion. At this time, to
Bible. If there was another reason, it was because the spirit world taught me. I didn't really know what kind of person Father was, but when I was receiving a revelation from God,
able to meet true Father. At the time, some Christians received the revelation and knew about where the Lord would be. Then how did they know? Since they were people whose doors of heavenly fortune, because of good ancestors, because of the result of the good ancestors, so we became chosen guy to connect to the Unification Church and get to know true parents, right? When you joined the Unification Church, did you accurately know something about the Unification Church? Before joining the church, did you know what kind of person true Father was? Most people had no clue at all. Since we did not know the spiritual world, there would be no way we would know about true Father. Next.
If the doors to your heart are opened, heaven will let you know your mission. Are not opened, you do not understand the precious value of your partner. Because of that, don't you ignore and fight between husband and wife? If the doors to your heart are opened and your spiritual eyes are opened, you will know the precious value of your spouse, and even if you try to fight, you will not be able to. Why did you come to your husband's home? If the doors to your heart are opened, heaven will let you know what your mission and responsibility is right away. And heaven will tell you what you came to do in your husband's country. You will realize that you came to your husband's family and country with God and true parents' wishes.
Yeah. Why do you have a conflict life of faith? Why do you fight between husband and wife? Are opened. I would know God, the spiritual world, and the value of my spouse and me, so there can be no fights. Since you have not experienced the door to your heart being opened after receiving the blessing, you do not know why you came to America, Japan, and Korea, or some other country you do not know well. If the door to your heart are not open, you do not understand the precious value of your partner. Because of that, don't you ignore and fight between husband and wife. If the doors to your heart are open and your spiritual eyes are open, you will know the precious value of your spouse. And even if you try to fight, you will not be able to. If the doors to your heart are open, heaven will let you know what your mission and responsibility is right away. There would be no need to worry about the paths that lies ahead of you. Since God will guide you in detail, you will be amazed by God's guidance and walk and just have a heart of the gratitude. The reason the doors to our heart have not been opened so far is because our lives so far have not been sincere, lived centered on ourselves. If our heart are very, very sincere, the doors to our heart will surely open. Next, do not let our lives be bound by existing formality, conventionality, habits, and traditions, because the Jewish people were bound by the law of the Old Testament. They could not recognize Jesus and nailed him to the cross. So always live while focusing on where your heart is heading towards. Next, you must always overcome your physical body through the prayer and Jeongseong. If the mind and body are in conflict, God never come to you. The people who received the revelation that the Lord had come to Korea were people who offered sincere devotion while offering more than 3,000 vows a day. Wow, that is really incredible Jeongseong. That's why when you put in your Jeongseong, okay, and open your heart and mind, surely God can intervene. We need to bring our bodies to submission through the Johnson. Therefore, if we are unable to dominate our bodies, it becomes a tool to Satan, and the doors to our heart will never be opened. Therefore, we need to live putting our heart at the center. If you live thinking of the heart as the subject partner, you are bound to have a heartistic exchange with God. This is because the heart belongs to God. May we learn how to open our heart, right? Thank you very much. God bless you.